is Thursday, September 21st, 2023. Seeing a quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner McNair. Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez Guerra, Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Rivera.
Here.
Thank you. Quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, members of the public may address the Arts and Culture Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action may be taken on non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? Please note that you have 3 minutes to speak. All right, so if none, then we'll proceed to the consent calendar. So this is the time for the commission to consider matters under consent calendar item number 1. Do I have a motion to consider item 1?
I move.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell, for moving, and Commissioner Hernandez for seconding. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner Russell,
Yes.
Commissioner Wu,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Thank you. And just for the record, Commissioner McNair and Commissioner Lopez Guerra are excused absences.
All right, thank you. Matter has been approved by unanimous consent. So we'll now move on to the work study session. We have one item under the work study session. Please note that there will be no motion or action taken on this item. The first item under work study session is Arts and Culture Special Events Sponsorship for September 2023.
Thank you, Co-Chair Vu. And first of all, I'd like to thank all the commissioners for dedicating your time to thoroughly read through all the applications. This is just our first round, so there will be hopefully several more than a few after this. So this first round, we started off with $200,000 and we're able to distribute $64,415 with an average of $8,000 per. That's just an average of award. So the first one that was approved, not necessarily in any order. This is actually quite random. There's no ranking or anything to this. But the first one is Madison Park Neighborhood Association. They were awarded $9,288 for their event, 18th Annual Madison Park Neighborhood Association and Green MPNA Walkathon Resource Fair and Cultural Festival. And as you'll see, there were no no's actually. If you look through, they were all 8 applications were approved, and by a lot. So this is actually, a first time seeing this. This may not always work out this way. But the second application is Media Arts Santa Ana, or MASA, and they received $8,300 for We AR, which We Are Santa Ana, Citywide Augmented Reality Art Festival. Third applicant is Wendy Yung. She received $320 for Santa Ana Inc. Now you may notice that the amount approved is a little higher than the amount requested because a couple commissioners thought that actually she should receive more for her project, which is great. Again, another precedent. So this is wonderful. If that's what you feel, you are at liberty to do that. As long as it doesn't cross the threshold of 15,000, which is the max. The fourth applicant is the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association, or VALA, and they received $11,667 for Viet Film Fest. And that's, Fifth applicant is Art of the Endangered, and they received $4,417 for drawing with Art of the Endangered. The sixth applicant is the Art Spread. They received $7,056 for Artful Giving, an art raffle and craft creation extravaganza. The seventh applicant is DTSA Feel Good Events. They received $12,367 for Tamal Fest. And finally, Libromobile Arts Cooperative received $11,000 for their 6th anniversary Libromobile Literary Arts Festival. So we have a remaining balance of $135,585 going into the next month. So with this, I will be sending out an email to everybody on our listserv, social media, all the networks, and I ask that you that all the commissioners also help distribute this information in case I miss anybody, to let them know that we now have 130, we have this much amount left. Again, major qualification would be it must be an arts and culture related event. Some people were disqualified because they were not arts and culture related. It needs to happen in Santa Ana. It needs to happen before, after the date that you meet. So it has to happen after today's date, which is, let's say for this round, the event had to should be happening after September 21st. So any event that occurred already becomes disqualified. So those are the major concerns, I think, that disqualify some of the applications. But any questions that you have? And also just to remind the public that the votes need to be a majority. If there is a tie, then the application does not get approved. And the amount approved is the average of all of the amount that is suggested or recommended by the commissioner that approved the application. So that's how we get to this number. So let's say, for example, for the first one, Madison Park Neighborhood Association, they requested 15,000, but together, all the 6 commissioners that said yes to it gave an amount, and then the amount is now averaged to reach to 9,288. That's it.
And can you
Any
clarify-
questions?
I remember reviewing applications that are not on here.
Mhm.
So were those disqualified?
Yes, and it turned out that some of them, looking again, either their events will not happen within the timeframe, and the cutoff is June 2024.
Okay.
So there was one applicant that said that they would, they're asking money for the research phase, and that the implementation, the actual event was not going to happen until after June 2024.
Okay.
So a commissioner caught that, and then I took it off, and I sent them all emails letting them know why they were disqualified.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? No, as moving forward as you continue to review applications, anything? No, you want to say, or okay?
Yeah, I just want to make, I guess, a couple of comments. One is that it's really great to see that that we were able to approve all of them, and that was partly due to TRAM's staff work on being able to weed out the ones that, as you mentioned, were not meeting the muster. So that helps, and also the strength of those kind of early birds that are getting the worm, as it were, and and just so the public understands, like right now we used more than a quarter of the funds that are available, and so there's going to be less and less an opportunity at every vote that we have for these events. So it's very important that folks apply by the October 11th date, if possible, and even if the event is later, to not wait to the end, because we might run out of funds, as it was. One thing I am hopeful that we can also have is smaller amounts to more organizations, so that we can really spread the funds as many as we did last year. Last year we had, I believe, over 40 individual organizations that or individual artists in our community that were putting on events that were able to benefit from these funds. So definitely hopeful that that is able to change, and that incumbent upon us and, being able to spread the word and help and push others to spread the word, into their network. So, and the last thing is, it's interesting, or not interesting, but many of the folks that applied were applying for the maximum amount. And so, and it was difficult because many of them deserved, that and then some, right? But it always, as we mentioned in previous meetings, like we want to have it so that our event is not paying for everything of an event, that we're just a part of, a big part of the pie, perhaps even of, various funding sources that folks will have for each individual event. So, and with that in mind, I felt that's, some organizations deserved or, like based on history and other things, with particular lack of funds of certain organizations that have been putting on events for years in our communities, even at a loss, and then just kind of trying to balance it out between trying to keep it closer to the 10,000 amount that I feel. And last thing I'll mention is, it was ironic because I was the one pushing for more funds when we had this discussion, to 2025 even, but as it turns out, the money goes fast. So it's just going to be whoever applies and the amount, and based on the collective average is how we'll get to the final amounts and who gets funded by the time we run out. So apply. Thank you.
I genuinely just want to thank Tram for the training. It was my first time doing the review, and from the one meeting we had, it was seamless. So I just really want to thank you for equipping us with the tools and the gentle reminders and the clear communication, or gentle communication, really keeping us moving forward, because we look forward to reading all of the applications and want to be mindful of the timelines that we're on and meeting again back to those that submit it. But it all goes back really to the processes you have to develop internally and sustain. So thank you, Tram. From one training, I got it. Yeah.
You're a quick learner.
I also just want to comment about, in Santa Ana, the Arts and Culture Department is housed under Economic Development, correct? And so I was very interested in applications that kind of met. I don't know that the people who are applying understand that, but I'll use one example, the Santa Ana Ink one, it's just a simple project, but it was very, grounded in the arts. And I don't think the artists recognized that it would also be a boost for the commerce, because it was going to be held at a place where there are lots of small businesses. And so it's really nice to see that, we can pair both arts and something that will help the economic development for the city at the same time. And I just want to commend the people who were thinking of that, and for future applicants to emphasize how valuable that is for us.
I am really impressed by this first round of applications. They were all very thorough, very well put together. And I really want to commend those who worked really hard to submit those applications early. I also want to encourage anyone else, any organizations, individual artists as well. If you're looking for, if you're looking to submit to this, I encourage you to apply, because the application is not complicated. It is not that scary. And as long as we have, for myself at least, if I can understand a fairly full picture of what the event will do and how it will contribute to the community here in terms of arts and culture, I'm more than happy to approve it for amounts that I see it fit. For myself in particular, I actually paid close attention to the line item budgets that were provided as much as I could, so I could be specific about what I felt I wanted to fund, and offer that as suggestion as well. And so for myself, I very often tended to really support the organizations that were looking to support their staff, support volunteers, provide artist stipends. Those are things that were definitely, I was excited to want to fund through the sponsorship. And I was also really excited by, just in this first round, the wide range of events from neighborhood associations, long time organizations that have been serving our communities, and smaller artists as well. And I encourage this diversity of applicants for the next rounds. And like Commissioner Hernandez said, it's going to go quickly. So I really encourage everyone to apply sooner rather than later. And I will offer, if anyone would like general words of guidance, you can reach out and I will offer what I typically look at without any specific feedback for individual applications. Comments from commissioners? And so if no other comments at this time, then we'll move into staff member comments. So does staff have any comments they wish to share with the commission?
No, the only thing is, yesterday I took the mayor of Sawayo, that's our sister city, on a mural tour of our different murals, and they were quite impressed with how diverse and large and everything. So just to let you know, and I know that they're thinking about having a mural here, like bringing their artists and creating a mural here. And then of course, in exchange, we would send somebody to create a mural in Sawayo in Mexico. So that's it. But everything else going along, the projects are humming along.
Then moving into commissioner member comments. Does the commission have any comments they wish to share? Commission members, please note that no member may speak more than once until all have had an opportunity to speak. And the commission may limit our comments to 3 minutes each.
I'll start us off to piggyback off Tram's comment. I had the opportunity to be invited to an arts and cultural forum that was hosted in benefit of the Sawayo delegation. And it was hosted at the Grand Central Arts Center. And it was just a really beautiful experience of people coming together very early in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, but just good conversation related to exactly what Tram shared, murals and just what our arts and culture exchange looks like with our sister city. So tying in that too, I really wanted to give a shout out to the city of Santa Ana. I'm not sure which departments were involved, so I'll give a general shout out to the whole city regarding Fiestas Patrias. It was a beautiful night. It was so nice to walk with the streets and just see everybody out and about. I really wanted one of those balloons I kept seeing with lights on it. People said no, it was for kids, but I really wanted one. And then just seeing the music, like we've seen people dancing and laughing and eating and enjoying themselves in that celebration was really just heartwarming, genuinely heartwarming to be back in that space. I think that I hadn't realized I'd missed so much. So it was just really nice. So huge shout out to the city of Santa Ana for such a beautiful event and for our community really enjoying it. I really saw a lot of happy people walking around. So thank you.
In addition to that, I have family members who are not as mobile anymore, so our seniors, and the fact that the city broadcasted or live streamed it was very much appreciated. I was actually surprised to hear the feedback, so that was another bonus. That person was very upset that local news coverage didn't cover the beautiful parade. But I just want to do a shout out for upcoming events. We have not one this year, but 2 Mid-Autumn festivals here in Santa Ana. One is on September 29th, which is a Friday. And the other one is on October 7th, and that will be at Centennial Park. The other event is at a new location, and I don't actually know the name of the location, but I have the address. Just how exciting that we get to celebrate, this festival more than one time in our city. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact, that things like this have been funded with seed funding in the past. Also, I'm very excited for the scary movies that will be happening at Birch Park every Thursday in October, and that my whole family will be attending. And again, that I think is an example of something that might have been funded or partially funded in the past. So just really excited that these are becoming more official and regular events that we can all rely on and attend. And then obviously Art Walk is on the same day as the Mid-Autumn Festival, October 7th, but I encourage everyone to get out, especially for artists who make a living or depend on the income, of the goods that they sell at these events. It's a great place to get gifts for the upcoming holidays. And lastly, for anyone who celebrates, Happy New Year.
Co-Chair Vuk, once all the commissioners are done, I forgot one event that I'd like to announce for this Saturday. But once everybody's done.
Yeah, I just want to echo what the commissioner said about the recent Fiestas Patrias event. I was there marching, waving the flag, and yeah, it's the first time I actually was able to be involved in it. So, so that felt good. But although a lot of what I was hearing from some of my friends, it's like, yeah, you know, when you go to high schools, growing up here, we would always be, you know, participate in the Fiestas Patrias, and then it triggered memories of me at Savannah High School in Anaheim, you know, being in band and doing, you know, the parade when the Angels won. Man, that was a long time ago. Not going to happen anytime soon. But anyways, that was fun. Anyways, it's just really beautiful to see the youth from our schools, you know, and from our community, and the art and the culture. It's just one of a kind. We're really showcasing the best of, you know, us and Mexico, El Salvador, and other nations. But just, you know, our unique Santa Ana spirit. So, and this might be what you mentioned. So, it's an arte item on Saturday.
A different one, but yeah. please.
Okay, so you know, because you know, Victor's here, and we probably would have mentioned it in comments, but I will be there on Saturday. Is Sanarte event, which is Santa Ana's first augmented reality history walk and resource fair on Saturday, September 23rd from noon to 4 at the Pacific Park East Side Neighborhood Bike Trail. So information is going to be presented in 4 languages: English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Khmer. So yeah, that's going to be on Chestnut, 403 East Chestnut. And make sure to check out and support local art.
Yeah, that does sound sad. And that was partially funded through the artist grants. So thanks to the commissioners too. But there's an event that the city is co-presenting with Oasis International. That's an art organization here in Santa Ana, as well as MASA, Victor's group, Media Art Santa Ana. There's a free artist capacity building workshop at that makerspace in the Santa Ana Arts Collective. And this is for those who are, see arts as their business and how to make it sustainable. So please, please tell your folks that they will get tools and support and information such as marketing, credit, budget, legal, portfolio management, their art portfolio management, investments, housing, things that these artists may or may not be thinking about, but because they don't even know where to start perhaps. But here they can meet people and have that connection, and even just get a taste of what does that even mean? Where do I start? You know, this would be amazing for them to build their business even more so that it can be a business for them going into the future. So it's free at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 1. There's usually yummy foods there. They usually some kind of breakfast and lunch is provided. So please just have them come. They will be meeting again at that makerspace that's run by MASA in the Santa Ana Arts Collective on 17th and Main.
I will piggyback off of what Commissioner Russell was saying about the Mid-Autumn Festival. How exciting. I grew up all my life and only ever saw Mid-Autumn Festivals honestly in Westminster, right in front of Philip Tot only, or like in neighborhoods where there were mostly Vietnamese people who just organized it for ourselves. And to see last year's be such a large, booming, festive event full of so many people from so many different cultures that celebrate similar holidays, all different ages, all different like abilities and arts. There was dance, there was music, it's just so much, and it was so beautiful to see community finally be able to come together, and to see that this year we're having one at the New Hope Library. That's much closer to the actual date of Tết Trung Thu, which I believe is this year on the 30th. And as well as the one on October 7th, so that there could be more time to prepare and also greater access to everyone at Centennial Park as well. It's just really beautiful. I'm going to try my best to make it to hopefully both. And I hope to see several of you maybe, and as many community members out there as possible as well. I think that was it. So are there any other comments before? So seeing that, this meeting is now officially adjourned then. The next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, October 19th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m.